Did you know that turmeric and ginger are herbs that you can easily grow at home, even in the shade? Today I have Dina Wild, who is a master gardener with Orange County Extension, to tell us all about it. So welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
So glad you're here. So can you tell us a little bit about it? Can you tell us what side to plant of the rhizome so we know? Because if it's just a root, we don't know which end of the rhizome we're supposed to plant.
Well, okay, first can I back up just a second?
Sure.
Gingers, the culinary gingers, can only grow in the shade.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, turmeric, which is biologically related, like kissing cousins,
right?
It too grows very well in the shade. But
also.
it can take dapple shade. It can take even a teeny bit of sun.
Okay.
Ginger, the culinary ginger, cannot.
Okay. All
and
right. So major differences. Okay.
Yes, yes. So this is a wonderful herb to grow in the shade.
Okay.
And you grow it from what we call a rhizome.
Okay.
And this,
which is
Jana, is a rhizome.
Wow. Okay.
And this is, for most people, just a root.
Right. And this is what we would typically see in the grocery store, correct?
This is exactly what we see in the grocery store.
Got it. Okay.
So, in fact, you start your crop with a grocery store rhizome.
Oh,
the grocery store ginger.
Okay, good to know.
And it's one of the grocery store vegetables we can grow in our yard. So you get the rhizome, and it looks all dry and cruddy, but that's just fine.
That's the way we want it to look.
Okay,
okay.
And then you plant it in a pot.
Okay, so what kind of container would we use?
You would use a container like I've got here, which is wide. What is important is wide, not depth.
Okay.
Because we only plant the rhizome about 1 inch deep.
Okay. And so what kind of soil would we need, or do we need to add fertilizer to it?
Okay, good question.
Okay.
You want a good potting soil. I don't recommend adding fertilizer right away.
Okay.
Because you don't even have roots yet, and those tender roots could be burned with too much fertilizer.
Okay.
What I recommend, and what I use is what I have to recommend, is a water-soluble fertilizer that has the micronutrients. So read the label. And dilute it by 1/3.
1/3, okay.
Because what happens is every time you water, your nutrients drain out.
Right.
So, and the plant's in a pot, and by the way, this grows just as well in the ground as a pot.
As a pot, okay.
But anyway, every time you water, and if you're growing it in a pot, I recommend the water-soluble fertilizer.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, your regular fertilizer.
Okay. So when we plant this, you're going to show us how to do that. But how do we know it's ready? Like, that's the exciting part. When do we harvest?
Well, let me plant it first.
Yes, plant it first. You're going to show us what we need to do. Yes.
So what is really important is you plant it horizontally.
Okay.
Not vertically.
Horizontal.
Yes. It's got to be horizontal.
Okay.
And the roots will find the soil.
Wow.
So you don't have to worry about upside down, downside up.
It'll find what it needs.
It finds it, and you just put it into the soil.
Okay.
And we're going to use this pot because there's always room for one more.
Okay.
And you go down about 1 inch.
I see.
And you cover it, and then you water it.
Like so. Done.
So
it's done.
It's
easy.
done.
I think I can do that.
Anybody can do this. So
it
will take a while. About 3 to 4 months before you start seeing these blades, these leaves.
Okay.
And notice this is like this is a monocot. This is like a grass.
Okay. It does look like that. It does.
So, but anyway, so you keep letting it grow. You keep watering it and keeping it in the shade until these leaf blades are dead.
Dead. Completely
die.
Dead. Okay.
And when you tug it ever so gently, they come out of the soil.
Easily.
Easily.
Okay. All right.
Then your ginger's ready to harvest.
Okay.
And you dig it out.
And you're good to go.
You're good to go.
So as we wrap it up, Dina, is this plant only allowed to live in the shade? So can you tell our residents, like, if they're questioning, like, can it only live in the shade or just partly? Okay. So quick answer.
And in fact, do you see these burned
I do
marks?
see that. I do see that.
See that?
From the sun.
That I had it in a dapple shade.
And it burned.
And it burned.
Wow.
Now, turmeric is different. You plant turmeric exactly the same way. exactly the same way, but it can take some dapple shade.
Wow.
It can even take a little bit of sun for a few hours.
All right. Thank you so much, Dina,
sure,
for that.
This is fun.
Now you know how easy it can be to grow your own rhizomes like ginger and turmeric right at your home. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I've actually learned a lot.